YouTube. What it do, man? It's your boy Benji, and we're back in between the ropes. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all that's hitting that subscribe button, man. Liking up the videos, commenting, let me know information about these matches. Let me know information about these storylines. Let me know TV shows to watch. Let me know movies to watch, and more, man. Y'all showing a lot of love, and I do appreciate the community that we building over here. We locking in. Cause it's all about the Benjamins, baby. You know what's crazy? I don't think I've seen that movie, bro. Like, for real. So I might actually watch that and, you know, drop that on the Patreon. Maybe I'll try to edit a video. That'll probably come soon. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of wrestling that went on this weekend. I'm just trying to keep up. Y'all have been consistent with me, so I'm going to be consistent with y'all. End of the day, this is supposed to be a show that we got to talk about. And I just got to talk about it first. Wrestlepalooza. This is supposed to be the partnership of the century. This is supposed to be the biggest deal ever. ESPN, WWE, all in one. This is great. We're ushering in a new era, and this is supposed to be the beginning of the future. And this is supposed to let a lot of the wrestling fans know what they're missing out on, as well as the fans of the common sports. Hey, we're bringing the pain. So how do we usher in this moment? How do we usher in the future? John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I mean, let's get it, man. John Cena and Brock in the first match, and Cena gets annihilated. Brock, I'll admit, he looks like an absolute unit when he walks out, and he's intense. You can see it in his eyes. Cena gets manhandled for the majority of this match, and there is a moment though when Super Cena makes an appearance. He hits Brock with 3 AAs, and dude kicks out. I said there's no hope. I said there's no hope, or somebody shows up to interrupt. I was wrong. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Brock, F5 Cena, F5 Cena, and just F5 Cena to a W, and then just continues. F5 and this dude after the match. He launches the referee to the mat with an F5 and then plants Cena again before he leaves. Just don't tell me this is part 1, but it has to be. I mean, there's no way a dude like Brock Lesnar can exist in the WWE and fools like Seth Rollins just walking around renting a championship belt. Brock could just literally go take anything. He literally squashed John Cena. I don't know. Maybe they're going to run this back for another PLE. I don't really care to see it. I mean, this was a terrible build for this one. And again, this was the build for ESPN. I mean, if you had asked me, Cena's wasted an entire year. There's supposed to be 5 appearances after this. This could have been a random return that got booked in the beginning of the year where we see Cena get squashed by Brock Lesnar and then go to the Rumble and lose and then question himself before aligning with The Rock and winning the title somewhere around SummerSlam. At least have him work his way up and go through a couple of opponents. I get it. But like, what in the world? Like, this could have been like a trillion times better. Once Cena gave up the belt with 6 months left to go, I just knew we were done for, dude. Brock has returned with no reasoning. He has attacked Cena for reasons that nobody knows and then continues to whoop on him and anybody else in his way for what? Dude, again, is Brock Lesnar going to stay around for another year? My fault, man. Calm. I might be a celebrity right now. But again, is Brock Lesnar going to stay around for another year? Is he going to continue storylines from here onward? No, he can't even stay consistent in this storyline. What is the purpose of bringing him back for this? We could have at least had Cena, who announced in the beginning of the year that he's not good and that he's got an 0 whatever record. So he needed to build himself back up. This could have been a squash match that ignited Super Cena and had the people hype for him going into Royal Rumble. This could have had the people hype going into Elimination Chamber. So now we get this at the end of Cena's run. We know he's only got 5 days left. This is pointless. What is he going to do? Go home and think about it? Here's what I can do to be better. Brother, you ain't got it. You just lost to Cody Rhodes. You can't stand toe-to-toe with this dude. And if he beats Brock Lesnar down the line, so what? Again, if they won't build a story for the opening show, the big opening show of the partnership with ESPN, they're not building one. I got more to talk about. The Usos versus the Brons got an interesting twist. LA Knight was a special guest referee. Now, this could have been a really good way to build hype into this match, but it was announced via social media during the pre-show. They had these guys show their face every 5 minutes during the Raw on Monday, and they couldn't have built this moment up. We couldn't have had one of those conversations that they had backstage with Nick Aldis, or whatever the other guy's name, the bald guy, Adam Pearce. They couldn't have had a conversation with that dude backstage and then slipped that LA Knight could be a special guest referee in their match. He couldn't have showed up on Friday. And what is the purpose of you having these TV shows? They're literally waste of time. I did mention, bro, that this match really couldn't end up with a true winner. Because, yes, the Brons win. But now, the supposed greatest tag team ever, the Usos, take a loss to these nobodies who couldn't beat anyone just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, it's still likely that the fans will believe in the Usos moving forward still. But the story of the Brons winning is overshadowed by the beef that LA Knight and Jey Uso have. Or at least will have. Like, there are multiple moments in the match where Jey is obviously attacking one of the Brons in order to try and win the match. And LA Knight's in dude's face talking about, "Are you trying to hit me?" No, fool! Like, dude. Randomly, there's a point in the match where Jey Uso just starts bleeding after he beating these fools with a chair. He ends up eating a spear and then a tsunami and they end up losing. Another just waste of time. Again, shout out to the Brons. But they should be beating everybody. Why would Seth Rollins align himself with the quote-unquote future? These two dudes that were literal menaces, but they can't beat anybody in the tag team. Why are the tag team championships just floating around, never getting defended? And there's two dudes right here that are supposedly at the forefront of the TV shows. They're getting TV time on every show. I mean, we just saw them on Monday. We saw them on Friday. And the tag team championships are just wasting around. These guys have zero goals. Now they won this match, what? They did this for bragging rights? I mean, typically we like to grade these things. Yay, nay, somewhere in the middle, okay. Up until this point of the show, it is an absolute nay for me. We had a 5-minute squash match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. An Usos match that had potential to be pretty solid because it did have LA Knight as a referee and he turned a blind eye to a lot of the shenanigans, charcuterie that was going on. But Jey Uso just randomly bust himself open with a chair and they just end the match. Now, Stephanie and Io, we knew it would be a match. I'm excited for Stephanie, but seeing the way that Io was just booked and the fact that Stephanie has barely been on TV herself, I don't really have much hype for this title reign. I will say I like that they showed respect. And the cameras ended up catching Stephanie celebrating with her pops. I was gonna mention it the other day when I was doing my Raw review, but in case I didn't, I had looked at the moment where they made Stephanie's intro a little bit longer. So I mean that should have been a sign that she was gonna win it all. But please keep Miss Take Back My Title I Never Lost away from this woman. Just please, just for a little bit, please. The next match on the card was SETH and Becky versus Punk and AJ. Dude, they have to find a DJ in order to edit or smoothly blend tag team entrance music together. But Seth and Becky's entrance, it was dope. I don't know, was that just... Oh my goodness. I was just ranting and I just paused it. I don't know what I just missed. Dude. That just made me upset. My bad. I was having like technical difficulties. Anyways, Seth and Becky's entrance was pretty dope. That's what I was trying to say. Some people online were talking about their attire looked like SpongeBob when he was doing like the song in the movie. This joint right here. But yeah, I thought it was just pretty funny that this is just essentially a battle of who loves their wife more, and looks like CM Punk is just a bigger fan of AJ. This match is all of what I thought it would be. Old farts just tussling and running around. Seth and Becky are carrying this feud in my eyes. and they did do a really good job in this match being entertaining. There are some angles that they could take this moving forward, so kind of interested, but also kind of not. So there's that. And then we also got The Undertaker showing up to cordially invite Stephanie McMahon into the Hall of Fame for next year. Yeah, we were just wasting TV time. Drew and Cody was an absolute waste of time. I mean, we all knew Drew was going to lose, but I admit there was at least an inkling of hope that I had for him. But this match was probably an even worse way than the way I imagined that he would lose. I mean, he's handling Cody all match, and every time he gets the upper hand and is willing to destroy Cody, the ref stops him. The ref even stops him from kicking in Cody's head into the table outside of the ring. And Drew ends up hurting his leg. He hurts himself so bad that later in the match, he has Cody lined up for a Claymore. And he ends up falling down inside of the ring while he starts to run because his leg hurts him so much. This literally was a waste. Sammy versus Mello would have been a better spot than this. Honestly, this was absolute nonsense. Triple H was, of course, going online talking about how there's going to be so many surprises and so many twists and turns at Wrestlepalooza. They're doing all this good work to promo it. Dude, this was absolutely worse than the actual Raw or SmackDown. This was bad. Like, yo, there used to be moments, scenes, scenarios, stories developing in the back during these shows. This was just not it. At the end of the day, the real show also went on earlier on today. I'm going to talk about that. This was stank nasty. Yay, nay, somewhere in the middle is okay. This is an absolute nay of a show. The only bright spot of this show was Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins being entertaining for spots during this match. But it's a throwaway for me. So in reality, the only good thing about this show was Io Sky versus Stephanie VAQUER. Seriously. I mean, and that's what we all expected it to be. Just that's it. Isn't that just crazy? All of these other matches were supposed to have some type of storyline going into them. Some type of feud that's been boiling and cooking up for weeks. Io Sky and Stephanie VAQUER is actually one that should have been cooking up for weeks, but I'll give them a little bit of slack because they did have to pivot because of the Naomi situation. But this actually had zero storyline going in, at least between Stephanie VAQUER and Io. The only thing that we knew about this going into it was that Io told the Kabuki Warriors to stay away from her match. Other than that, it was just about respect and two wrestlers just getting in the ring for good old time's sakes in order to win the gold. Now, I don't know, maybe Io will come back on Monday and then the Kabuki Warriors are going to say, see, we told you. And then maybe Rhea's going to say, I want to challenge you, Stephanie. Maybe. Maybe Tiffany Stratton is the next for Stephanie VAQUER, which that could actually be a pretty solid match. Maybe Stephanie VAQUER can save the plummeting ship that is Tiffany Stratton. But, yeah, essentially what I'm trying to tell you is that's the one match that had basically no story going into it. Literally none. Io and Stephanie didn't even talk to each other many times going into the match. For weeks. Stephanie VAQUER wasn't even on TV. For weeks. And this is the best match. The only thing that anyone's going to remember from this PLE, aside from John Cena getting jobbed out. I'm not even mad at the people that are mad. I'm mad at anybody else that expected this to be good. I go into everything now with fresh. I'm just fresh. I don't have any high expectations anymore. I don't even have low expectations anymore. I'm just going to it even keeled in order to provide y'all the review. I keep this calm as I kid go crazy. Man, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all that's tuned in. I don't know, man. They've just got to scrap everything and just try again, dude.